Hey, it's Rav. Welcome to the Everyday Investor, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. We're in for a treat today. We have my good friends Corey and Tiffany Young on the show. They are a wealth of knowledge. Maybe you've seen their branded company, Investor Life. Anyways, just very grateful to have them. They're in California right now. Remember, whenever you're faced with any investment opportunity, you always want to ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what's the return on investment? 2, when do I get that return along with the money that I put in? 3, what is the minimum investment amount needed? And 4, look them into their pretty eyes and ask them, what is the risk? What is the downside? If they can't tell you, run really fast. Super excited about this episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, the power of leverage, things that matter most, why we get into investing in the first place. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You know, ultimately it comes down to this is a type of investment where we can use other people's money. So that means people can invest with us, but that also means that we can even use banks' money. We can get mortgages on our investment.
Hey everyone, Lee here with Wise Construction. Want to talk to you guys about doing windows and doors at your projects, either projects that are coming up or projects that you have ongoing. We are still experiencing huge delays with windows and doors. And one of the first things that everyone should be doing in a project is ordering your windows and doors, as they're taking anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. We're also finding the material costs for the windows and doors are going up anywhere from 30 to 40%. So if you're going to start a project, if you have a project coming up, the first thing you should do is take a look at your existing window. If you look at your double pane, there's usually a stamped date in that window, and something in 15-year range should be replaced. Feel free to give me a call if you have any questions, and happy to walk you through it.
The mortgage world has changed. Has your advice? Are you looking for a modern approach to your mortgage planning process? Advice tailored to your unique, ever-changing circumstances? Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, purchasing, or refinancing, the Kyle Ford Mortgage team works with individuals and companies to custom tailor the right mortgage product for you. Working with a wide selection of lenders, we're here to serve our clients and help them achieve their real estate and retirement goals. Contact the Kyle Ford Mortgage team today, Canada's mortgage choice.
Hey guys, Omar Khan here from Theta Trading. I want to talk to you quickly about what do you do when the markets are down? Well, the first thing you do is you don't want to panic. You really want to look at what you've invested in it and really understand, do I understand what I've invested? Am I comfortable? Because when the markets go down, it should not cause one to panic. In fact, one should say to themselves, wow, my favorite stuff is on sale. If I have more money, I can deploy it now. The idea, again, is not to panic, understand what you're investing and why you're investing, and look at the broader picture. Understand that markets have always returned to an all-time high, whether that be the stock market or the real estate market, and just to continue on with your investment as long as there's no thesis change. But the key, as always, is do not panic when markets are down, and I would say one more thing is never over-leverage yourself, because again, that can be a cause of panic. But that's what we do when the markets are down. We just wait it out until a better day. Back to you guys. We'll see you next week.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. I'm talking to my friends Corey and Tiffany. Guys, thanks so much for doing this with me.
Thank you for having us. Great to see you again.
Yes, well, you guys look great. I'm taking time out of your precious day there in California. Is that kind of a little bit of a, work-live kind of thing? Is it purely just vacationing? What are you doing there?
Well, you introduced us as Investor Life, and that's what we really believe in, is like living your investor life as you're building in your journey, not just, waiting till you're 65 and hoping you get there and then hoping things work out for you to be able to enjoy life. Enjoy it now. So we're enjoying life now. Yeah, we work a little bit while we're here, but it's about living.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. You guys, as young as you look, you've been doing this a while. Tell me a little bit about the story. And even the two of you coming together, and then getting into investing. Share with the viewers a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So we got into, actually it was all Tiff's idea. She was the smart one. She started looking at real estate as a possibility for us to start our business, get into real estate investing. That was back in like 2003-ish that she started doing that research. Read all the books, went to all the seminars, all of them that came to town. And then we kind of just started doing it. We started buying properties. It took us a while to get going, but between 2004 to 2007, we ended up buying over 100 properties in the Edmonton area. So that was kind of our kickstart to get going. We got a lot of experience. We bought a lot of bad properties. We made some good decisions and some bad decisions. You know how it goes. And so that was kind of what got us started. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, since then we've been maintaining those properties and doing many other things as well within the real estate investing world. So.
Well, let's talk about those other things in a second, but I just want to go back for a second. 100 properties in 3 years. So how did that work? How did that work? Did you have money partners and you were doing all the work? Did you win the lottery and bought all these things cash? Like, talk to me about that 3 years and what did it look like?
We basically, learned as we went, crawled just like everyone else does from the beginning in all these concepts and understanding the overall idea, but not knowing how to actually implement and all the overwhelm and fear and everything that comes with it. But you know what? At the end of the day, we just started doing slowly. And yes, we used other people's money. We had no money. We were 24 years old. So, and again, no rich uncles. So yeah, just started slowly, just like everyone else.
That's a really big point because, a lot of people say, well, I don't have the experience, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the credit. Well, we had none of those things either when we first got started. Yeah. And, there's a million excuses that we can line up. But at the end of the day, like Tiff said, we bought one property, and then we bought one more property, and then it just started to snowball because it's not that difficult to do.
And is this what you're still doing? Because there's lots of things that you guys are, you tour around, we've shared the stage together, you do a lot of coaching, mentoring, training. Are you still actively, buying doors, if you will?
We just bought one yesterday, Rav. So while we're down here in California, and we picked up some property in Nova Scotia over the last few months as well. And yes, we're still doing some buying. We're still active in that side of things. We're much slower than we were back in the day, and much more pickier and choosier now.
I think we paused for we did our buying, then we paused for probably a good 10 years and kind of just said, yeah, we're happy with where we are. We don't need more. We're not trying to buy ourselves a massive job here. But just recently we started to see where we're interested in getting back in. So, but we're just pieceworking it. We're not going crazy at all. We did our crazy days already. So,
a lot of people, they get into investing because they want to be able to, enjoy family, friends, engage in a purpose that's greater than themselves. And you watch their lives and, I want to say to no fault of their own, but perhaps they have to take ownership. What they've done is they've just created a second or a third or a fourth job, and they forget why they did it in the first place. I know you guys fight really, really hard. That's why I'm grateful that you're with me today. What's the key? How do you make sure? Because, sometimes our nature is more. And once you've done it, it's easy to do. And the more successful you are, the more opportunities come your way. And so for Corey and Tiffany, how do you stay on point with your faith, with your family life, your fitness, your sunshine? Like, how do you make sure that you don't get caught up in all this? And I think it's a really important, topic because everybody wants to not get caught up, but then we get caught up.
Yeah. We were talking about this last night, actually, because anyway, I won't get into the story why we were talking about it, but it's so true. I think the number one word that we try to keep at the top of our minds as we're going through all of this is simplify, or keep it simple. Because like you said, things can get complicated. Our lives we only have so much time, and what are we filling it with? We don't want to fill it with more work. We want to fill it with things we enjoy doing. So
spending time with the people that matter.
We have to have this discussion between the two of us on a regular basis, because it's so easy for us to say, well, why don't we just do this? And why don't we do that? And we can do that and this, and look at what the returns would be. But
we don't want
what are we going to lose if that's what our focus is? And that's what we have to keep in front of us, is we want to keep, like you said, our family time, our time together, our vacation time, things we enjoy doing in life are more important to me than, a number in a bank account, quite frankly.
Yeah, but it's a catch-22, because to be able to do what you're doing now, 20 years ago, you were cranking, right? And so it's, I think one of the answers is to be humble enough to have people around you, and perhaps not in the industry, to be able to say, hey guys, you seem like you're really busy, or you're tired, or you don't have enough margin in your life. Or, what's funny is we have a friend, Don Campbell, of course, and I was chatting with Don the other day, and I said, I want you to come on my show via Zoom. And I want to talk about this topic, real estate investing for the things that matter most. And I really loved his answer. He says, Rav, I'm going to be in Australia with friends at that time because I'm practicing the topic that you want me to come and talk about. I can't come on the show, and I just loved that. I loved that he, said that some other time when I'm, freed up, but I want to continue to be with my friends and travel, because that's why I did this in the first place, is what he said. And, you guys have always been like that.
And,
no, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, okay, Don is one of the reasons why we even started on this kind of journey of what are we doing, because we saw how he taught us how to gain our freedom. He taught so many people. He was a great mentor to us. And yet he was there working away. And we would say to him, Don, you look tired. And he'd be like, yeah, no, it's fine. But he needed to make that change. And it took, and we've seen this so many times, it took until the last straw, when it was like, okay, no more, I'm not doing this anymore. And we thought, we don't want to get there before it gets there. And we see lots of investors leave investing before they should have, before the real wealth kicks in, and all that because of the impact on their lifestyle. So he's one of the reasons, and he taught us through example, why you don't push it to the last minute, because it's just not, you don't enjoy it anymore. And what's the point? What's the point in that?
I met my wife when I was 15. We started dating. I was 15. She was 14. I'm 50 now, so 35 years later. But Sinead, obviously she likes, that we can travel and so on and so forth. But genuinely, if our family of four lived in a basement apartment, and rented, she could care less. She's big into, our faith and family and so on and so forth. So she's the guide for me, because my nature is, like I always say, I'll drive by vacant land and say, oh, there's a tractor trailer parking lot there. Let's build a outdoor storage, or so on and so forth. And she has to bring me back. And so I'm blessed to have that. Talk to us you guys have a great marriage. When a husband and wife do this together, and they're both, it can be a lot of fun, but it could be problematic as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Where do you want me to start, or you want to start?
Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We worked together actually in our previous business as well, before we got into real estate. And so there was a lot of lessons that we needed to learn right from the very beginning. And I think one of the number one things that helped us is we just had clear boundaries on what each other's responsibilities are. And we know that ahead of time. So, Tiff takes care of A, B, C, and D, and I take care of E, F, G, H, so we know what part of the business, even though we work together, we have separate departments that we take care of.
And we help each other in those, but at the end of the day, he has final say in his departments and I have final say in mine, because otherwise, if you've got two captains steering that boat, I'll tell you, the captains fight for sure. And sometimes the captains quit. We each quit on each other at different times. Yeah. But yeah, you have to be really definitive in just respecting boundaries and saying, well, this is your call. So here's my thoughts, but it's your call on it. And that's it.
We're going to take a quick break, but I'll leave you with this. What happens though when an opportunity comes to Corey or an opportunity comes to Tiffany and one of you really, we really need to get into the, mobile homes, and, the trailers, or we really need to get into stock options, or something really, comes your way. How do you decide? I'll leave you with that. We'll get the answer when we come back. We're talking to my good friends, Corey and Tiffany. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, it's Kyle from the Kyle Ford Mortgage Team. Have you wanted to invest in real estate, but are a little bit nervous about tenants, toilets, and renovations? Did you know that you can passively earn returns between 10 and 12% secured on real estate with no tenants, no toilets, and checks deposited into your account every month? If you're looking for opportunities to invest in real estate without the headaches, don't hesitate to reach out to myself and the Kyle Ford Mortgage Team.
Blackjack Contracting Inc. is a premier contractor for real estate investors, having transformed over 250 single-family homes into multiple legal suites. Blackjack is proud to introduce their newest venture, reicontractor.ca. Check out reicontractor.ca to get support with planning, design, renovation services from the most experienced real estate investor contractors. reicontractor.ca. Powered by Blackjack Contracting.
Costas Cavellos, founder of First Access Condos. Now, in our world, there are numerous investment opportunities and schemes that people pitch to you daily. Which one do you choose? Which one is right for you? Now, when it comes to investing, you want to invest in something that there's a great demand for, but not enough supply. And everyone knows in Southern Ontario, the one thing that's in short supply is housing. First Access Condos lets you buy today and reap the benefits in the future. Pay today's prices to invest, sell at tomorrow's prices. That's the beauty of pre-construction condos, and we are First Access Condos.
Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. I'm talking to Corey and Tiffany Young about how to make money in real estate, what that money means. It really means spending time with family and friends. We're going to touch on the power of leverage. Guys, before we went to break, I asked you as a couple, whenever you're faced with a great opportunity, maybe for one of you and not necessarily the other, or you've already set your boundaries and this might push it. Like, how do you work that out? Because there's a lot of husband, wives, husband, wives. There's a lot of, couples that are getting in the game together, and it can be a disaster or it can be a wonderful thing. And I've known you guys for a long time, and, again, been able to be in the same groups together, seminars, speaking engagements, and you have a wonderful marriage. And I just want you to be able to share, obviously it takes work, discipline, intention. Share with how that works when an opportunity comes your way that maybe you need to say no to.
So I'll answer just kind of briefly. So, it basically comes down to, we have what we know as our goals. We have those together. We don't have separate goals. We have goals together. And basically when something comes along, we ask ourselves, does this hit toward our goal or not? Because sometimes it's exciting and we want to do it, but we realize that it actually isn't going to buy us what we are looking for out of our lifestyle or out of our relationship or whatever it might be. So just measure it against our goals. And then, if one of us wants to and the other one doesn't, well, the goals are going to tell you whether or not you can, because you've already agreed to those. So and I think it's a non-issue. Yeah,
if we're going to move forward on something, we both need to be on the same page, because it's just not going to work if one of us is pushing it forward and the other isn't. So, we have that discussion, and it comes down to, like Tiff said, is it going to bring us closer or farther away from our ultimate goals? So,
yeah. No, I love that. And I think that's so important, because you're right. When you come together and you have your goals in place, then it's easy, because it doesn't match, even though it's fantastic. And other people won't understand why you're not doing it, but you'll understand, because their goals don't match your goals. Everybody is different. And so when anytime somebody says, Rav, what's the best investment, or what should I be? I can't answer that question. You've got to, dig deep and figure out what you're doing, why you're doing this, and do you want to do it? If somebody wants to work 9 to 5, 40 hours a week, and they've got a pension, but they sleep at night and they're happy, God bless you. Like, this is not, not everybody has to do it the way that, you do it or how I may do it. So great answer. Thank you so much. And that's really why I wanted you on the show. It's not about teaching us per se about real estate, although you guys are very good at it. What's your shirt say? And what does that mean there? Is that just a Nike shirt or is that your own branded shirt?
Yes, that's our own brand. This is our coaching group. We call them ignited members. And that's because we give them the tools that they need to ignite their lives, their real estate journey. And
not just their portfolios, but their lives. It is a big part of what we say. People, we do deal reviews for people or whatever. And we're like, well, listen, that's looks like an awesome deal, but do you want to hate your life?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a heck of a lot of work and, or whatever it might be. So yeah, it's our mentorship program, and it's all about investing and living.
So people are watching, they see this wonderful couple, bought 100 properties in the first 3 years, been doing this for a couple of decades now. They're sitting in California. They also want to be nurtured. What is it, ignited.com? Is it Facebook? Is it, where do we go? Where do the viewers go if they want to have more nurturing from you guys?
2 spots, investorlife.com. That's one spot you can find us. And second, our group on Facebook is Fearless Real Estate Investors. So if you search that up, you'll find our group. We are continually growing, and we'd be happy to have anybody that's looking to get into real estate investment or have any goals towards that. So for sure.
That's great. Well, thank you. Thank you for offering that. So, often we forget what we know. We think that other people know what we know. And Tiffany, when you thought about, Rav, we should talk quickly about the power of leverage. I mean, for investors that have been doing this for a long time, we know to put down as little as we can and get some cash flow, and properties increase and somebody's paying down our mortgage and so on and so forth. But we forget that other people just may feel more comfortable just paying cash, but then the returns are not quite what they could be, And again, whatever helps you sleep at night, but I do want people to know that there's power in leverage. So I know you teach this from a very simple level to a very high level as well. You've got graphics and so on and so forth. Maybe we'll throw those on the screen, but why don't you take us a little bit about this concept of leverage and what does leverage mean? And it's kind of one of the biggest difference between the stock market and real estate, right? We can leverage in real estate as opposed to stock. So talk a little bit, take a few minutes and talk to me a little bit about that.
Awesome. So, ultimately it comes down to, this is a type of investment where we can use other people's money. So that means people can invest with us, but that also means that we can even use banks' money. We can get mortgages on our investments. We can make a return on our investment using the bank's money.
Which,
and so
like
that's,
you said, we can't do it in the stock market for sure.
Right. So that's what makes real estate stand out among, all the most other types of investments that you can get into. So this actually came up to the forefront for us just a few months ago. We were looking at a property and we thought, well, why don't we just buy it cash? We don't have to have a mortgage on it. We don't have to, our cash flow is going to be amazing because we won't have a mortgage. And then I stopped and thought, hey, I'm getting into that same trap that a lot of others get into as well. We would actually get a way better return on our investment if we did use a mortgage. And so that's really why we go through this example to kind of clarify those thoughts. So I don't want to get too deep into the numbers because it can get complicated trying to explain this. But for those that see the infographic that's on the screen, if you have 2 investors, and so we name them Sean and Karen, okay? So you have 2 investors. One of them, Sean, is going to use his $500,000, okay? So we're just going to pick a number, $500,000. He's going to put that amount, buy a house for $500,000. That house rents for $3,000 a month. He's got his regular taxes and expenses and all that sort of stuff. After his expenses, he gets $2,175 a month cash flow. Okay, so that's really, really good. But he buys it straight with cash. Karen, on the other hand, has the same $500,000, but uses the bank's money and only puts $100,000 down, gets a mortgage for the rest.
That's 20%.
20% down, which is what's required here in Canada. But that also enables her then to use that money to buy more houses. So she can now buy 5 of those same houses and own $2.5 million worth of real estate going up in value versus $500,000 going up in value. Now, we can't guarantee real estate's going to go up in value. We all know that. But in Canada, on average, it's, depending on where you look, somewhere between 6 and 8% over the last 50 years. That's what the Canadian average has been, going up in value. So if we use a conservative number of 4%, and we look at Sean's $500,000 into that investment and Karen's $100,000 into that first house, and it goes up 4% in value, Sean made a 4% return. Good for him. That's great. But Karen, because she only put 20% down and used the bank's money, got an ROI of 20% on the same property. And we can go a lot deeper now and say, okay, well, she bought 5 of those houses, and so now she has $2.5 million going up 4%. So she's making way more return on her money, 20% on that $500,000. She's making $100,000 return versus Sean's $20,000.
So she's
return.
making 100% on her money now.
It gets complicated when we go through it quickly, but it clearly shows, and that's the important thing, is when we use the bank's money, or even for that down payment, maybe we use someone else's money, an investor, a joint venture partner, whatever it might be, we can really maximize our ROI.
No, I love it. I think it's fantastic. Really, if I've got $100, I can take that $100 and put it in one place, or I can take $20 and put it in 5 places. And of course, my return on investment is going to be a lot higher. And so, there was a time here in Ontario, guys, where we could do it for 5% down. I guess the question is how much should we be putting down? I know you guys, really the answer is what we feel comfortable with, but surely it doesn't necessarily have to be 100%, but somebody may say, I feel comfortable with half of it, so maybe I'll put down 50%, or maybe I'll put down a third, I'll put down 33%. Yes, we only have to put down 20%, and yours truly is very comfortable with that. And then there's other people, if you would be comfortable with, 5%. So it all depends on your comfort level. But what I hear you saying is, and it's the number one question we ask on this show, is what's the return on investment? Sometimes you can have too much return, and I can't believe the show's over and we've got to go here in a second. But I think you would say the same thing. Somebody puts down 20%, then they forget about it. And so now we've got to look at our return on the equity. Like there might be, as it goes up in value and somebody's paying down our mortgage, we might have too much in there. And so would you guys then refinance and take that money out and just leave it at the 20 and then do other properties? What would you suggest there?
There's a million things you can do. I think the one thing that we'd have to make sure, though, is that even if we did refinance and we pulled some of that money out, we want to make sure the property is still cash flowing. And to us, that's what's really, really important, because, when we go through tough times in real estate, or markets drop or rents go down, what protects us is the fact that we bought a property that cash flows, so that we're not having to take out of our pocket to keep that investment going
or
over the years.
fire sale it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about. It's about being in it long term. This is not a get rich quick type of scenario. It's, buy and wait and let the market do its thing. Let the tenants pay down your mortgage, reap that cash flow as it goes along. And that's how it works.
Guys, thank you so much for taking time away from your family, away from your little vacay there. Thank you. I really, really appreciate you guys being on the show.
Thank you for having us, Rob. It was great to see you again, too.
Always.
And for you guys that are watching, thank you. Without you, we would not have a show. Remember, you can watch this show again on demand. You go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Until then, we'll see you next week. Same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Bye, everyone.